Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raptor X here with my Good Clean Gaming RX channel. And today we are going to be doing something quite different. It's something that I have kind of done before. I did a few quick videos. But I've had a dream for a long time of making my own video game. And kind of put it off and put it off and put it off. And today we are going to start that. So if you are interested in seeing a little bit of that process, I'm gonna be making some of those videos now, and yeah, basically going through a little bit of the 3D modeling process. It's gonna be a lower poly game. And so we're basically going to do these as a simplified versions of of actual 3D objects. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get started here. I'm going to go ahead and we've just started with a simple cube here. And then I'm going to basically mirror this one here. So I want to select this face and delete it. And then we'll select those. And we're going to take those off. There we go. All right. And then we're going to use a modifier. And it's been, there we go, a long time since I used Blender. There we go. And we're going to merge. Good. All right, so basically what this does is that anything that I do on this side of it was going to be duplicated on this side, just mirrored, which means that I can work on this very easily, like so. And we're going to go ahead and basically make the handle here. So I'm gonna, there we go, we'll do a split that way. And then we're going to scale these on the x-axis. There we go. And then I'm going to drag these out on the y. And we'll do something like that. And then we'll scale these on x-axis to give this a little bit more round. So I'm making an axe handle here. Basically sweep this up, kind of give it a little bit of a curve here, that little wide part down at the bottom, and then we'll put an axe head up on the top of it. And this one's going to be like a tree chopping axe, not like a splitting maul or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select faces. Like I said, it's been a long time since I worked with Blender, so I'm a little rusty on some of the key commands. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this. I'm going to move it up, and we're basically going to make the length of the axe handle probably about there. I think would be about proportional or so. And then we're going to go ahead and put a bunch of loop cuts into here. Give it that little bit of belly there. And then pull up, let's see here. Okay, so that's kind of got a little bit more of a curve this way. We might see about doing. Mhm. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Although that's more of a hatchet. So, um, there we go. A felling axe. There we go. So it's kind of got this little bit of a belly there, and then it kind of curves over, and we get that kind of get that little notch forward there. So I'm going to see if I can save image. There we go. And we'll put this one. We'll just put this one in downloads, and we'll call this X reference. There we go. All right. And then I should be able to import this here. Let's see here. I'm going to go back out to object mode, and we're going to add a mesh plane here. And I'm going to scale this up like so. And then we're going to rotate this on the X 90 degrees. And then we're going to drag it back like so. All right. And then we should be able to there's a way to add a texture to this, I believe. Material? Nope. Oh, it's having a think on this. There we go. I've told it to make a. All right. Told it to make a material, and it choked on it a little bit. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've done this. Scripting. Add image. There we go. As a background. Scene with data. There we go. All right, and then we're going to go to downloads, and we're going to go Axe reference, and this is going to add an empty image. I'll try that. There we go. Perfect. That's what I wanted. All right, and then we're gonna I've got it all funny. All right. Let's do this then. We're gonna go to there we go. And now we're going to add that again because there we go, reference. And we're going to use that axe reference again. There we go. And that's going to make sure that it's aligned to this background. There we go. Then we're just going to rotate it around to somewhat match kind of what I'm making here. There we go. Perfect. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll continue working on our axe here. So as you can see, we've kind of got that belly correct there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start moving some of these vertices around to kind of match that image. And those there. There we go. And then there we go. All right, and that kind of gives us our top of the handle there. I'm going to go ahead and we'll rotate around and grab these again. Right, so we're going to need to give it a little bit of curve there. I'm just going to curve this slightly. There we go. And then I'm going to extrude it again. And we're going to rotate it. There we go, to more closely match that. And then we're going to go ahead and extrude it one more time, like so. And then I'm going to grab these two pieces, kind of give it that curve there. There we go. All right, so there's a basic axe handle. Go ahead and we'll drop this portion down slightly, like so, just to kind of mimic that cutout there, like the steel portion of the axe head is. And then I'm going to go ahead and we'll grab okay, that's what's going on. I've got some overlap there. These are all supposed to merge. All right. There we go. Go ahead and select all of those edges. And then we go scale Y 0. And that'll bring those along. And then I'm going to check on this modifier and we're going to merge when they're within right. So we definitely want it to axis on the Y, and it's supposed to be there we go. And that should do that. All right. there's a way to change this. There we go, wireframe. And then I should be able to access, there we go, the whole lot of them. Perfect. All right, and that mirrors that now so that it's there we go, so that it's back how it should be. Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll develop this axe head here. Go ahead and swap back to wire, back to face mode. And I guess I've got two options here. We can make another object to add on to this, which might actually be the way to go. And basically just run this portion of it through the head. As we'd see there. And then we're going to go ahead and raise this portion of it slightly. There we go. Kind of give it that, point sticking out of the top of it there. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and we'll add a cube there. Perfect. And as you can see, those are now, it's not letting me drag it all the way over here and then cause that separation. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and select all of these faces. And we're going to drag this up. Drag it up to there. There we go. All right. And then and drag this out a little bit so that it forms the back of the axe head there. There we go. And then I'm going to drag this so that those edges kind of match up. Right, and then I'm going to grab this edge and we're going to move this forward until we kind of get that portion of it. All right, and then we're going to add another edge loop here to the middle. And I'm going to grab this portion of it and drag that forward. Okay. Oops. What? I should have done that first. Let's go ahead and we'll do about right there. And then drag this backwards some. Kind of see that portion of it if I need to. There we go. All right. And it won't make any difference because I'm still seeing all of this in orthographic view. There we go. Okay. Move this back some. All right. And then go ahead and do that like that. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move this one up to kind of give it that little bit of the bite there. And then we're going to grab these and we're going to move those in, kind of give it that edge. And then grab those two and scale these on the Z-axis. There we go. There we go. I've still got to remember what all the keybinds are for the various different commands here, because I'm jumping all over the place. All right. And then go ahead and grab this control tabs. There we go. And then we'll grab this one as well. And we'll bring that down some. And grab an edge here. There we go. All right, so now we basically just want to go through and kind of give this the subtle curve that you would see with an axe. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll grab this and kind of move it in a little bit. There we go. Move that. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'll grab these faces. Oops. And I'm going to go ahead and grab these lines here. Go. And I'm going to move those in slightly to give that a little bit more of an edge. And I'm going to move them back. There we go. Okay. So there's a basic axe. For a low poly, I don't think that's too bad. I'm not sure whether I'm gonna clean up, the inside portions of this, or if I'm just gonna leave it the way that it is. I may run like an intersect or something on the inside and just clean that up, and eliminate the middle portion of it, the handle that's kind of on the inside there, so that we don't have clipping through there. But for right now, that is our axe. It's probably a little wide, honestly. If we do... There we go. That's a little better right there. And that's kind of how you'd expect it to look, actually, with it's like a little bit of more of an oval handle there. So, okay. That's going to be our axe. I'm going to come over here and rename this. And we're going to rename this axe low poly. There we go. And we've gotten one tool completed. This is obviously way too big. So I'm going to go ahead and scale this down quite a ways. Because like this is supposed to be our point light sort of thing. And these squares are supposed to be like a meter. So I'm going to go ahead and scale this down. Yeah, so I think these big ones here are supposed to be a meter. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll scale that up slightly. Probably about like that. And yeah, that's going to be... I think that's going to be it for today. For some reason, my dragging now is not working properly, so I may have scaled that down a little too far. There we go, that's better. All right. Okay, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and delete that because we don't need that anymore. And we've got our axe handle. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and we'll drop into here. And we're going to select all of these 28 and change. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I can UV unwrap these. So unwrap. Fail, one or two islands may need to be added. Okay, that makes sense. So let's do a smart UV project. And angle limit will do 66 or so. And we'll just try that. Island margin. Let's give this a little bit of as non-uniform scale. All right. And then if we add a viewport. Nope, that's transform. There used to be a way. There we go, like that. And we're going to change this one over and we should be able to see should be able to move this over so that we've got UV editing. There we go. And then we should be able to UV. Oh, that's why. We've there we go. That one right there. So this is how it's kind of unwrapped, and I'm not quite happy with that one. So we'll probably end up getting in and doing some edge loops and that kind of stuff in here so that they mark correctly. But I'm going to have to do a little bit of reading and research on that one and see exactly how this is done. Because like I said, it's been a long time since I've done Blender. Like in years. But we're going to go ahead and leave that there for today. We've got ourselves a simple axe. And we'll see about, in the next episode, we'll see about getting some textures on this. I'm probably just going to go with like some simple colors and whatnot. Maybe a little bit of a hand-drawn wood texture or something. And put that onto there so that we have a little bit more detail to our axe. But that's going to be it for today. If this is something that you guys are interested in seeing more of, or if there's any suggestions, I haven't put any music on this one because I'm kind of doing this one right off the jumping right off the line here, so to speak. But I'm gonna end this, I guess, right here. And yeah, if there are any suggestions or comments or anything like that, please feel free to leave those down below. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Ta-ta.